as Walter makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Davies Ass totally stranded.
Poor old Davies Ass, he doesn't get a fair chance for that, does he? Hello and welcome to ABW Live. Arsenal 2, Leicester City none. What a way to win a game. Fantastic. With me this afternoon, tonight, this morning, because it's only 10:37 in Canada land, it's Stan the man.
Good morning. Good morning. It's 11:37 actually. We've got an hour or something like that, unless my computer hasn't updated.
Oh, have you? Oh, I think the USA, North America did a little bit of daylight non-savings giving away. I don't know what the 30s is.
That's right.
So how's things with you? I ain't spoken to you for a while.
Really well, thanks. Just got over a cold, but other than that, great. Looking forward to talking about this game as well.
Oh, yeah, a couple of ABW have got COVID again. That's it's okay though. It's not bad anymore, hopefully. And one of my friends, both her parents have got it, and they're both in their 60s. So that's always a bit dodgy. But yeah, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the magnificent display that we saw today. Let's have a look in the chat and see who's there flapping their gums about the game. Paul Nell was first, then Ron Ree, then Cy, and Peter Little, Albert. I'm not even reading what they've put. Albert's using swear words. He's got around the swear filter. I think that means they whispered in his ear to give the fishing penalty. Fishing? I don't think the word was fishing. Phil Macker's there, probably talking nonsense. Carlito Elguna is there. Another 3 points. Lovely. Avon, not Teddington. Can I say, Martin Odegaard, you utter baller. You certainly can. What other ones? Formerly Noser is here. I got laughed at when I said I'd rather pay 35 for Odegaard than 60 for Maddison, and I think I was right for once. Dine out on that for the rest of your days, Noser. Not Noser, formerly. I don't know. If you're formerly Noser, then what would you be now? I think we've tried to debate this before and got absolutely nowhere. Deke is there. Howdy doody. Julio Salmondo, currently in Iceland. He's thrown the FBI off his trail by going to one of the frozen countries. Deke's double dipping. He is on the Twitch and he is on the YouTube, which is what I like to see because it makes our stats look even better than what they should be. So that's cheeky, but it's a win. Will T is there. Mark Backridden. Who else is a name that I haven't read out yet? Super is there. Howdy. Rudy. Rocky is there. And Julio says, imagine a striker ahead if Saka and with Odegaard. You've been a dirty, dirty boy. We'll have no more of that kind of chit-chat. Stan, stupid question, but I always ask, any surprises in the lineup?
No, none at all. I was really pleased that he went with the lineup that he did, that he went with his strongest lineup. I was talking to a few early in the week, and they were saying that perhaps we should be rotating and saving our best lineup for Liverpool. But as I identified, between Liverpool and Leicester, there's more chance of getting all 3 points at Leicester. So put out your strongest team, grab those 3 points. So really happy with the lineup, happy that you went with the strongest team.
A little bit of logic there, Stan. Usually in the Arsenal world, doesn't go very far, but I think a little bit of logic that you've just given us it will go far because it is probably the right thing to say. Adiash is there. Matt Roberts is there. Sebastian V-Rod. Is that our very own V-Rod? Sebi. Of course it is. Sebi keeps sending me things that he's made. In fact, Sebi, hold on, I've got a little thing. Sebi is the one who made this. Later tonight, people, 10 p.m, me and Magic Mike. And he made that. He also made the Swiss Roll Ramble, which is what we call Mike because he's fat. I don't know if that's allowed, if that's bullying, but from a fat person to a fat person, I think that's legally allowed. So I've actually got some notes, Stan. So not much changes with the lineup because there really isn't much that we could do. We don't really want to do. Arteta has got his favourites. You can even see when the game is petering out, he still doesn't want to change his favourites, does he? So yeah, there's some people there that I think it's already been said that Maitland-Niles is leaving in the summer, and Mari is leaving, and all those other ones are on loan, are all leaving. So shout to Stan if you've got any notes. First of all, I've got great attacking play down both wings. That was, at times Leicester were looking at that going, oh my God, what's going on? It's like when you're doing, Muhammad Ali's doing that shuffly foot thing and then punching with both hands, and you're going, I don't know what to do. We astounded them early on, didn't we?
Also, as well, going into this game, I think this we haven't in the league done the double on Leicester since the season that they actually won the league.
Probably.
So it's been a long time. People, they blow hot and cold, Leicester. They're a really sort of like up and down team, but they always seem to pull it out of the bag against us. So it wasn't a given that we were going to come away with all 3 points today. And what I took from the game as well is that I think that from start to finish, we looked in total control of the game.
We did, and it was wonderful. There's a little bit, probably the last 10 minutes of the first half. I don't know what we were doing, but it looked a little bit dodgy. A little bit, they're giving them a little bit too much time. But there again, you can't attack and be dominant for. Well, you can if you're Man City v Man United. You can get the full 98% or whatever it was. But we're still learning. We're still getting there. 10th minute, Stan. I've put. A stat came on the screen saying Leicester were 20th in the league for goals conceded from corners and 20th in the league from corners per goal conceded. Martinelli took the corner. Partey came near post, which I wasn't expecting, and just got a glancing header on it. And the entire defence just stood with their mouths open and went, huh? Like you've done all season, lads. That's what you do. What do you think of that?
I got caught out. I got caught out because usually it's free kicks. Usually when we get a free kick, before we had Odegaard standing over the ball, when we had free kicks, I would use that to clean out the cat litter, put the kettle on, do something like that. Now I do that with corners because we don't seem to score from corners. I watch every free kick, but I looked away during that and I just caught the replay. So I got caught out. I'll be watching corners with more attention, but it was good to see Partey get his second goal for the team. And that it came from a header as well, from a set piece.
We're the only team in the Premier League not to have conceded from a corner, which I thought that meant we're going to concede 2 or 3. What do you reckon to this from Avon Not Teddington? Can I suggest a really odd idea? Maybe we should rotate for the Liverpool game and come back strong for the Aston Villa game. That's got legs in it.
Yeah, I mean, again, we want to stay in fourth. We need every point. You've got to look at it and think, well, there's more chance of getting all 3 points at Villa than maybe sending out your best team against Liverpool, tiring everybody's legs out, losing it 2-1, for example, and then you're weak against Villa. That's a good shout. A very good shout.
What do the people in the chats think of that? And you can bully him if you don't like it. They said at the end of the game, that is now 5 straight wins for Arsenal in the Premier League, and that is 9 wins in 11 games. So we've only 1 game have we not won in 11. That's fantastic, isn't it? When we started to collapse when we lost 4-0 to Liverpool, 3-2 to Man United, and 2-1 to Everton. Did you think that's it? We've shit the bed now. We're never doing anything. We only beat Newcastle 2-0 because they're probably one of the worst teams in the league at the time. And then we've gone on that run of 1 defeat in 11. I mean, this is shades of the 98 team, hasn't it? Where Man United were like 15 points clear of us and we went on that unbelievable run and everybody feared us. They're fearing us again now, aren't they?
They are. My only slight sort of concern is with how short and shorn the squad is. If we pick up an injury or we pick up a red card and somebody important has to miss, I just worry who's going to come in. Because we're so shorn at the moment. And we're quite lucky that we've got ESR and Pepe that can still come off the bench with a little bit more added variety if we need to change things around. But beyond that, there's not really much, is there? So we've got to keep everybody together. No injuries, no red cards.
We are lucky that we've had no injuries. Now, I'm not going to jinx it because there's no such thing as jinxing stuff because we're not children. But we've had absolutely no injuries apart from Tomiyasu, and that just seems to be bad luck because he got first injury was a calf. Not sure how he did that. The second injury was his other calf, and now he's recovering from that. And Smith Rowe had the lurgy, and so that's apart from that, the entire team same 11, bang bang bang, game after game. We know who the same 11 are. We know the style of football they're going to be playing, and it's a delight to watch. Dan, I know where the ball's going to go. Apart from today when we see We saw Partey and Xhaka occasionally playing as a number 10, running upfield with the ball, thinking, no one's coming after me. What am I going to do? I'm going to score here. I've got later on, I put it had visions of Henry against Spurs when he ran the length of the field with the ball when Xhaka is running and no one's going after him. The Leicester team obviously thought, well, he's never going to score this. Just let the old fart have a run. Yes, always look comfortable, says Mark. Rudy, we got 6 points from Leicester this season. A very good team, but we managed to beat them twice. That first, I think I said in the podcast this week, Stan, that first win away at Leicester this season, I think was one of the turning points of this season where people went, oh, hello, looks like we've got something here, didn't we?
Yeah, I agree. As I said, we've not done a double over Leicester now since what year was that when they won the season?
14-15.
How long ago was that now?
2014-15.
There you go.
Yeah. So what's that?
It's been some time.
Is it really that long ago?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I feel old. I'd have been in my mid-40s then. Great days. Have you got any other notes before the 17th minute?
No, I do have one. I think it was something that the commentator said on the TV. He said that Bukayo Saka is the first player under Mikel Arteta to play 100 games.
Wow, that's considering he was only on the fringe of the team then, wasn't it? But again, most of the other players that had been there have all gone now. They've all been put in the bin, or the recycle bin, or been shown the door. We've got a long one here from Matt D'Souza. Only relegation teams have that mindset. Top teams never share fans' views on chucking the LFC game. They deem it a weak mindset that will affect the team confidence and put a huge pressure on the Aston Villa game. Still an interesting point, though, Matt.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that we go to chuck the game, but that if there's going to be a little bit of rotation because we're playing 3 games this week, basically. At some point, there's going to need to be rotation. I would say I would rather, on what Ted said earlier, his point, that we rotate for that game rather than we rotate for the Villa game, because I just feel that there's more of a chance to get all 3 points against Aston Villa than perhaps Liverpool. So I'm not talking about throwing the game, and you don't talk to the team in that mindset. A little bit like the mindset at the beginning of the season, which I think cost us. At the beginning of the season, before we kicked the ball, we were looking at the Man City game and the Chelsea game, and right in the first game against Brentford, we gave ourselves an excuse. Well, they've just come up, they've got a new stadium, blah blah blah. We gave excuses for those losses. But I'm not saying that we do that for Liverpool. I just say that probably that's the best time to rotate.
Your audio stopped then. Stan's got a problem with his laptop, and so you went quiet, and then he went, and then it slowed down again. Don't worry, it was interesting. No, so what are you on about here? Red card, Xhaka, ugh. Was he been sent off after the game or something? I haven't seen anything. I've looked. It hasn't come up with a red card. Mr. Waffles is there. Howdy do. East Anglian. I'm in East Anglia. Sunny God, Manchester. What a place to be. I say sunny. It's not. It's pissing cold. Still too early to predict St Totteringham's day, but it's on the cards. It's going to happen. Don't worry about that. Ron Ree, Martin Odegaard, looking like he could be a player looked upon like Perez, Bergkamp, and the like. I just love watching him. No, it's wonderful. Some of the stuff that he's doing is cheeky. Sai is on Twitch as well, here to StatPad. Good. If you have got a Twitch account, go watch us on Twitch. And then we get you as down as 2 views rather than just the 1. And it makes me happy. Rudy, thank God for having Odegaard and not Maddison. Yeah, I mean, the danger players I thought today for Leicester were going to be Maddison and Barnes. And it turned out it was Norton. No, what's his name? The
double-barreled guy. What was his name?
I'm going to go and find it because there's no way I'm not going to remember it. Dewsbury Hall.
Dewsbury Hall.
That sounds like a horse at the Grand National.
It sounds like a sort of a drama that you'd watch on Netflix.
Dewsbury Hall, the 4th Lord of Erlington. What? He was good though, very good. He did something in the first half where he lobbed the ball over everybody. We'll come to that bit. Right. I think it's a good idea. Good. Right, next bit I've got 17th minute. Great work. Everybody having shots, and Partey dinks it against the top right-hand corner of the post. Almost scores again. I thought, here we are. He's going to try and bag himself a hat-trick today. Magnificent display there. The poor Leicester players are going, oh, he's having a shot. No, he's having a shot. Oh, he's having a pass. Oh, no. They're spinning around in circles, the poor fuckers. They had no idea what to do, did they? And that was just bad luck that he didn't score.
We had Andy Townsend on our commentary here in Canada on DAZN. And it was at that point that Andy Townsend said that Arsenal were producing football from the top drawer.
Mm.
It's been so long since I've heard the commentators when I'm watching the game starting to wax lyrical about the way that we play, and that the phrase "top drawer" came up on a couple of occasions, and especially when Ramsey pulled out his save as well, which we'll get to in a bit.
Yes, so it is nice to hear people saying nice things about the Arsenal at the moment, isn't it? It makes me happy. Have you got anything after the 17th minute? And my next is the 23rd minute.
Yeah, I've got about the same when Ben White made a great block.
Go on then.
There. Yeah.
Oh no, that's 25th. I've got that on the 25th minute.
I had that on the 24th.
Oh, 23rd minute. I thought good play from Leicester. This is the bit I was on about with that Dewsbury Hall bloke. Xhaka was way out of position, and Dewsbury Hall had loads of space and lobbed the entire of our defence, set up a good chance for them from where the spot Xhaka should have been. So Xhaka was so far upfield that by the time this bloke ran through midfield at Dewsbury Hall, and then as soon as he kicked the ball, made the long pass, that's when Xhaka ran back into position. And I thought, this could get us in trouble. If they'd have had someone really quick up front who knew what they were doing, they could have made more out of the fact that Partey and Xhaka were pushing so far upfield, weren't they? But what did you have for the block on 24 minutes?
Yeah, Ben White just came in with a great block. Fantastic. It looked like it was a shot that could have been going in as well.
Yeah, I put a great block and clearance from, because he blocked it and then cleared it to, I think it might be Martinelli to his left or someone to his left. Yeah. And then Xhaka was leading the chase. This is very odd, futile. I can't get over Xhaka being the one that is leading the chase upfield. I mean, that is going to end up causing problems, isn't it? If we take this on to games like against Liverpool, when you got Mane and Salah and you've got the Robertson and the other one, their fullbacks, the Terence Trent D'Arby. Because if you're Xhaka then and you're that far upfield, those are just going to turn you inside out and they'll be gone. And you ain't going to get away with that more than one chance.
It's going to be interesting to see that when we do line up against Liverpool, whether he sticks with this newer formation, this kind of newer, improved formation with more of a single pivot, or whether he changes anything at all to try and compensate for Liverpool and maybe even goes back to a double pivot with Xhaka playing deeper.
Matt wants to know, how many players would you change?
If I was going to change any players, maybe Pepe coming in for Saka, maybe Eddie coming in for Lacazette, maybe Rob Holding coming in to give somebody a breather at the back, maybe a shout to give maybe somebody in the middle of the park a bit of a rest and bring in Sambi Lokonga, maybe Tavares for Tierney. You don't have to do all of them in one go, in one big swoop, but there are some options there.
Yeah, like Albert puts here, 2.5 days between games, not enough time for everybody to recover. See, this is what I've said a few times about Arteta and the substitutions. I think it was the 85th minute when, 78th minute, Smith Rowe come on for Martinelli, fair enough. But Pepe didn't come on to the 88th and then 85th. And then Nketiah, he wanted to see how angry he got when he wanted Eddie to come on. And Leicester took a quick throw so he couldn't come on. That was 88. For me, bringing Smith Rowe on is good, but I would have also brought on, when we're 2-0 up, Leicester have given up. I'd have liked to have seen someone like Lokonga come on. There's absolutely no point bringing on Nketiah because he's not doing anything. Bring Lokonga on, play another body in midfield, maybe let Pepe play up front for Lacazette. And just give these players that we're going to need during the rest of this run of games that we got coming. Because he had Lokonga on the bench, which is one he could have brought on. El Neni, I don't know. Leno, no, you wouldn't. Tavares, he needs some time as well. Holding will be fine. Swanson was never going to play. So you've got all these players that if they are needed have gone, well, hold on a second, I haven't played any meaningful minutes in a month now.
I was just laughing at Phil Macker's comment. He says, get a move on, Danny. The BAFTAs are about to start. I didn't know anybody watched the BAFTAs.
Nobody watches the BAFTAs. A load of twats in shit clothes. Yes, what do you think to that with his substitutions? Do you think a game like this is where he should have made the most of that and given these players that he might need later? Because you're saying we've got so many games coming up in such a short length of time.
If you're going to rest someone if you're going to rest a Lacazette, then if you're taking him off at 85, you may as well leave him on for the 90. If you're going to rest him, then you take him off at maybe 70 minutes, something like that. So if you want to give somebody 5 minutes of play, then go with maybe a Lokonga. Give him some minutes. Give him a little bit of experience when we're riding 2-0 up. But like I was saying about those changes, someone in the comments, I think it might have been Russ, was saying that you can't make so many changes. I'm not saying that we could make all of those changes in one swoop, but you could make a couple of those changes and then you can use 3 substitutes in the game as well, depending how it's looking. But we do have some options.
True. Yeah, we do. And we need them because we saw, I've said it a few times, probably getting boring, but we saw when Suarez first come in and Lokonga first come in after being out for ages, they had shit games. And they need minutes to warm themselves. I mean, Arteta knows what he's doing. I doubt very much I'm going to tell him that and he's going to go, oh, fuck, I never thought about that. Shit. Right, I'll make a note of that and I'll do it next game. No, he's going to say, shut up, Matty. Chuck a chocolate bar at me and tell me to shut up and feed my face and stick to just pressing buttons for not even a living. Right, next one I've got is 35th minute. We have been fart-arsing around, like my mum would say, for the last 5 minutes, giving away corners, giving away possession, and then they have a shot, and Ramsdale was up like a salmon to palm it out for a corner. And the stat they had, 33rd minute to the 38th minute, Leicester had 88% possession. Did that worry you?
Yeah, they got a little bit of an uptick. Just before that, though, I remember writing down around about the 28th minute, I was like, we're playing some exquisite football because we were playing some really good stuff just before they had their little bit of a comeback in the game. But that was really the only comeback that they really had, to be fair.
Good.
And that's when Ian Asher got booked for flicking Gabriel. I mean, Gabriel, when he made a right meal of that, right? But fuck it, he got a booking out of it. So
yeah, he definitely had a comfortable lay down after all of that lot. But they do it against us. I don't like it. It's the dark arts. Yeah. It's a big thing for Brazilian. I had a power cut last night, so if I get a power cut again, power cuts in England in this time of year, Jesus, in the southeast, that's not normal. At 2 a.m. it was. I don't know what I was doing. Not much because it was dark. I was going to say something then, but I interrupted myself and I forgot what it was going to be. What were you saying?
Well, that was just coming up to the great save from Ramsdale off of Harvey Barnes.
I completely forgot. If anybody knows what I was going to say, send it in on a postcard and I'll read it out later. Cheers. Right, yeah, so then Arsenal corners against, this is a stat they had, 119 with corners we've conceded, not conceded a single goal. This was just before half-time. So that's probably about 121 now, I think it might have been. But that's an impressive stat, isn't it? Because we used to be so weak from set pieces.
Whereas I think Leicester conceded 15, right?
Yeah, it was definitely something in the high teens, yeah. Albert says, Ramsdale, man of the match, outstanding. Avon says Gabriel should play the next game in those face masks like Rudiger used to do.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, right. Half-time. What did you do for half-time? I opened another bag of crisps and then wished I hadn't bothered. What did you do?
I made a bacon sandwich.
Oh, you filthy human. I've got absolutely no decent food in the house. I've got one pack of bacon and that's about it. The rest is in the freezer. Yeah, there's nobody here to help me put away the shopping with a Tesco delivery.
The missus is out, so I'm going just my 2-minute run to McDonald's to get my sausage and egg McMuffin as it's a Sunday.
Afternoon, Stanley. Usual, sir.
Usual, is it? Yeah.
You have your flat cap on, just give them a little nod, let them know they're doing it right. Right, what are people saying in the chat? Rudy, first time since Arsenal have done the league double over Leicester in 15. Oh, I said it's 14-15. I was close. 15-16, when they won the league. And BX says, I love me some Rebel. I don't know what that is. Is that your T-shirt?
No.
That's Punisher, your T-shirt, isn't it?
Sorry?
What's on your T-shirt?
Oh, this is the Arsenal Luchador sent this to me. It's one of his T-shirts.
I didn't know he did merch. Mr. Hertz, you dirty boy. Shh, secret. Rody has put, we've got a quote here from Martin Odegaard. I think I'm in good shape, but I think it's about the team. The team is performing so well, it makes it easier for us players. You see Thomas and Granit. Oh, they call him Thomas, not Partey. And they call him first names. The job they do, they make it so much more easier for me in the middle. We're a strong team. That's good, isn't it? There's obviously a plan there.
He's talking like a captain, isn't he? Odegaard.
Is it Odegaard you have as captain and vice captain? That's the only two we have.
Yeah, I'd like to have Odegaard as the next captain, I think.
Tierney as vice captain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll all agree on that lot. Right, so Dejan, 5 wins in a row. Nice.
Very nice.
Good. Loki puts, I'm having a Chinese delivered, living the dream. We had a Chinese, there's 3 places around here that do Chinese. Usually it's so utterly goddamn bland, it bores the arse off me. It's like eating mashed potato, it's just boring. So I said to him, in my rice, could you make it hot? So they chopped up jalapenos and put it in. Oh, mama. Num, 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 num. That was nice. So hot. I was going, and also it means no one else steals my rice, Stan, because that's an important thing. Yeah. If you can sabotage your own food to put off the sticky fingers of Sean and her mother, always a winner. Right, so Rebel only likes, oh yeah, I feel just not reading that out. Mark says, Ray, okay, no, he's talking to Ray this time. Nick B, see if we can get some sense from this one. Odegaard is the WD-40 of our arthritic pains. Don't talk to me about arthritis. Every time I have coffee, anything with caffeine in, Stan, my shoulder seizes up. I used to love coffee. Fuck's sake. Right, you're all talking shit at the moment. Oh, here you go. Rudy will put some sense in there. Arteta's main achievement is that we have the right attitude, can handle pressure much better, and sort out the stinkers in the team. True. Second half, Stan, what's your first note? I missed the first 4 minutes of the second half because I was busy reading people's tweets.
First thing I wrote was 54 minutes. Handball!
Yes, go on. That's my one as well. Yeah. What do you think about it? Talk us through it.
It was nailed on, wasn't it? Really, I mean, he had his Sionchu had he was like trying to direct traffic when he had his arm right out there.
He got like ET. He's trying to poke the ball. Trying to do maybe he's helping out his friends doing a spot the ball competition. He's pointing to where it was. No one knows what that is.
It took a long time to make the shot, though, didn't they? And I thought to myself, like, why is it taking so long? You know, if this was anyone else, if this was like Man United, they would have already taken the penalty by now.
Yeah, and sent him off, and had one of his children put in prison. Yes, so that was. I think I was watching the one with Alan Smith commentating, and the first 2 or 3 replays you couldn't see it, but then they took a third camera angle, and then you can see he just about got his fingers to it. But that's that reaction, isn't it? It's like when you're in a stripper bar and they say don't touch the ladies, and you see they're shaking their booty at you. You're going to go and try and poke them in the bum with something, can't you? And I think that's what he did. It's a natural reaction. You can't help yourself. You have to touch things you're not allowed, and that's what gets us in trouble, Stan. But,
that last comment about being in a strip club, because my mum does watch these podcasts. I have no idea what you're talking about. But moving on. No. But yeah, I mean, the funniest thing about that as well was that after Lacazette took his penalty, how Schmeichel just went screaming out of his goal towards the goalkeeper to try and get him to take it again.
Yeah, even though it was off his line when we saw the replay of it. Yeah. Does your mum watch these?
Yeah, she does. I send them to her in Cyprus.
Hello, Stan's mum. Can I come and live with you? Because Cyprus is nice and warm. What's that? Are we allowed to say her name, or is it secret?
It's freezing at the moment. She sent me a message this morning saying it's freezing.
I withdraw my previous comment, Stan's mum. I don't want to come. I was sitting here with all my fucking heaters on. Yeah, my dad likes Cyprus. He's been there quite a few times. Yeah. Right, where are we? Oh, I think Rudy's got some quotes for us. Arteta on Odegaard. He was terrific again today in every aspect of the game, defending individual phases in the final third. The way he manages the game was when it's needed. He's showing great maturity and responsibility on the pitch, makes the other players better, I think. Do you agree with that, don't you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the amount of money that we paid for him. I mean, Madrid must be kicking themselves. £30 million. You know, half of what a lot of people wanted us to shell out for James Maddison. And for me, Odegaard's just like different gravy. And the comment there from what Mikel said, he even does the dirty work as well. He does get back and defends, as does Martinelli as well, which is good to see that we've got attacking players that also take up defensive duties as well, working as a team.
I'm still fucking got my thing on in the background. Please turn that off. I don't know why one of my monitors was flickering. Mr. Waffles says Sonchu looked like the henchman number 3 in a B-movie action flick. And Ray says looking at it, and it's similar to the run we have December 11 to 18, Southampton home, West Ham home, Leeds away. Yes. Nick says poke him in the honeymaker, in the moneymaker, or the honeymaker. Anyway, enough of that lot. But any other decent nose of savers? Odegaard is captain material, no doubt. Saved as right. The next one I've got is the 58th minute. Lacazette scored the penalty. Casper isn't happy, but Casper is off his line anyway. But he's just like his old man, loves a bloody moan.
They also said that was Lacazette's 200th career goal.
Yeah, because he was on 199 for ages, wasn't he? And that was he had gone 9 games without a goal, and he's never gone 10.
Yeah,
so that was
never gone 10 games without scoring. Yeah.
My next note is on the. I've only got 2 more notes. The next one is the 65th minute. Have you got anything before that?
No.
Okay. Great block clearance from KT, or they would have scored. Do you remember that?
No, I must have missed that.
That's when it was on the right-hand side, right-hand side of the box, and I think a couple of the players he'd got around him, they were looking really attacking, and there's a few shimmies, a few shammies, and then he just come in. He got past the defence centre-back, and he just come in and he spanked it out to the. We were looking at Ramsdale in goal, so it went out to the left. And he didn't fuck around with that. That's what we need. Rowe Z'd it all the way. Fantastic to see. Here we go. Mark says Odegaard is clocking up a few miles. He's the one I can see burning out. How did you get the O for that, Mark? Because you're in. I think it's Mark in the USA. How do you get the O on your keyboard? Or you just go and cut and paste it to look good? Hannes P. Partey has been one of our most consistent players this year, never drops below a 7 out of 10 performance. Yeah, what do you think to Partey's performances recently, Stan? What's been the key to it, with him suddenly becoming the player that he should have been 18 months ago?
I just think maybe it's taken him a while to adapt to the pace of the game, coming from La Liga. There is a difference in the way the game is played, and it just seems to have taken him. He's had a couple of knocks as well at the beginning when he was with us, and rushing him back and having to come out of the game and a little bit stop and start. And I was a little bit concerned about the quality of the way that he was playing for quite some time. But I think ever since the game that he played before he went away for the AFCON, I think it was the Man City game, that was where for me I saw a turning point in his level. And he's managed to maintain that. So long may it continue. You know, if he can get on the score sheet about 5 times in a season, you know, that would, if I was him playing in his position, that would be the target that I'd be setting.
Yeah, I agree myself. With
that. Keep up the other roles.
Yes. Rudy is another quote from Odegaard. There is clearly something special going on here now. You feel it in the whole club. We are building something special. It's a group of players who like each other and who enjoy football together. That like each other thing, that's a key part of that phrase, word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of that quote. Good. Yeah, I think we can all see that they like playing together. There's no people that are not pulling their weight. Like we've had certain people that have now pissed off out of the club that some fans can't let go of, even though they're playing in Turkey and doing fuck all. Right, I love how our defenders love clean sheets and fighting for it. Mark put, I use my phone. He's using his phone. I thought he had a keyboard. Nick B. Partey had been told this area is yours. Dominate it. Crypto FPL. White was brilliant. Yeah, it was. Yeah, him and Gabriel. Partey, it's all about fitness and enough games to find his Groke.
I think you meant
group.
I think you meant group.
Okay. And puts a group of players who like each other. Said no one about Man United ever. Right, my final note I've got, Stan, is the 77th minute. So between 65 and 77, do you have anything?
No, just a substitution. ESR came on 76 minutes for Martinelli.
The only one I've got is 77. Xhaka went full TH14 and ran the length of the field and had a pop. Yeah. Highlight reel, that'd be on YouTube. Try and flog him. Look, this is the kind of stuff that he does every game. He runs the length of the field with the ball. No one can keep up with him. Yeah. So any more notes for towards the end of the game? Because that's all I've got.
That was it, really. The next two were substitutions.
Yeah. Okay. Paul Neal says, I can't wait till we get a modern replacement for Xhaka on the left and to see Gabby's true potential. I like Xhaka, but he is getting on. He is. Michael is there. Are you double dipping, Michael? Are you on the Facebook? I mean, on the Twitch and the YouTube? Give us a little hello if you are. Phil says, my Phil Collins fingers are too chubby for my iPhone. I love Phil Collins. I was listening to it last night. Rudy, one word on Ramsdale. He saves our arse in the first half. Yeah, and Dejan and Ndidi on Xhaka off. What does that mean?
I think he'd probably want to swap Xhaka for Ndidi if he could.
Don't know. Yeah, they were talking a lot about Lacazette with his contract and the fact that it's almost seems like, but the club and him have agreed that we're parting ways in the summer.
I'll pop off for 1 second. I think I might have left the cat outside. She's screaming. Run! Back in a minute.
Okay. Michael is there. Go on then. Oh, Stan's gone. Spider Stan. Michael, you are lovely jubbly. Oh, right. So, Dejan, you're saying that you want to get Ndidi in and get Xhaka out. Well, he's a decent player. Ray's put Rudy. Some fans wanted Leno to play this match. Yeah, I think maybe Leno might come on as a sub for the very last game of the season just to say goodbye to everybody. What is the last game of the season? It is going to be Everton. It's the game that we relegate Everton. Oh God, that would be hilarious. Quote here from Rudy. Arteta on Mr. Ramsdale. He had a great save on Barnes' header when we were 1-0 up, and that's when you need your goalkeeper to get you out of trouble. That is so true. How's the pussycat situation, Stan?
She's still alive. We have to be careful, right? Because where I live, we've got this huge tree, and we get raccoons in the tree, and we get like I don't know what it is. It's like a big hawk that brings dead birds and eats right next to our balcony. Like his little eating area. So the cat always wants to get out there because the cat thinks they're friends. And I'm like, no. They'll take you for
Are raccoons dangerous then?
Sorry? Raccoons? Oh, yeah, they can be. They can go for cats.
Little fuckers.
They're not little either, man. They're not little.
Here we go. Quote from Brendan Rodgers on the penalty. He says, I think the time it took to be awarded could probably tell you it was harsh, to be honest. Well, your player fucking touching the ball didn't help. Yeah. It touches his hand. No, it doesn't touch his hand. His hand touches it. That you have to get that the right way around. But it certainly wasn't intentional. Again, bullshit. It was fucking intentional. His hand went out. That was hugely disappointing for us in the game. We were well in. That's just a whole load of bullshit, isn't it?
What else is he going to say, though? Do you know what I mean?
Next time we're going to make him play with his hands tied behind his back. Even Ray's laughing at that. Paul's put crisis averted, and Michael's put some kind of face. Noza, also Rogers. I need a new project. Man United might suit me. That might not be an actual quote, but I smell what you're cooking. Formerly Noza. Oh, hello, Bergie. You all right? Good. I gave them a load of chicken last night. Ooh. I scoffed an entire bowl of it. Dirty beasts.
My cat won't eat hard food. She only eats wet food. She won't eat wet food. She only eats like crunchy stuff.
My daughter does that. She occasionally she'll eat wet meat. I only give them wet meat when my mum comes around because I don't like touching it. It stinks. So I give them expensive cat biscuits. That's all she eats. That's all they mostly eat. But then if I put some chicken down, if I go to give her human food, Dora looks at me as if I'm just shitting around and told her it's Christmas. She doesn't have any of it. What do you want me to fucking do with that? Meanwhile, the others will.
If I give her wet food as well, she sucks all the juice out of it like a vampire, and you go back and it's just like dry food in the bowl and all the juice is gone.
Dear, oh dear, we've got 4 of them. I say we. It's just me on my own now. Charles left. None of my friends come round. They've all grown up and left home. Fuck's sake, might as well just end it all. Go live on the fucking moon. No, not the moon. Too cold on the moon. Right, what else are we going to... Creeple, have you got any questions? We've got a couple saved up at the moment. So if you have got any questions, put them in the chat with a little Q next to it, and I will come and have a look at them, save them, and me and Stan will laugh at you for sending us silly questions as soon as possible. It's going to go and do a little tweet saying that we're live. So overall, Stan, how confident are you after this brilliant run of games, playing against decent football against decent teams, that top four is back on?
I think it's in our hands. You know, we've got 3 games in hand as well. We've got teams around us that are not being consistent. So it's definitely within our hands. I just worry about not having maybe enough players for variety. You know, we're going to have to really put out the same players if they're fit all of the time. We don't have a lot of variety, and other teams might sort of like start to be able to read what we're doing. But the players that we have got, we're playing like a team. It's not just down to 1 or 2 individuals. Everybody's doing their part. We're playing as a team, and you can see that they're enjoying playing together.
That's it. I think in the enjoyment of the camaraderie, getting on together, that is really important. Arnie, I think he's in Iceland. I'm sure he said you're in Iceland. Says, one of my cats sits at the table and eats our food. If you turn your back for a second, Betty, she'll fucking have anything and be off with it.
I saw a funny picture yesterday of a guy had been arrested, and he was on the floor with his handcuffs, and this cat had just decided that he was going to go out and use the guy to sit on. And it just said, when you've been arrested and the cat just wants to use you as a chair, and the cat's just sat there while the man's handcuffed.
Excellent. Well, cats, they will use any warm body to lay on. Another quote here. Brendan Rodgers on Aaron Ramsdale. For me, he is the best English keeper at the moment. He's top. His progression since he's top. Full stop. His progression since he came to Arsenal, he's dealt with that really well. He's got a really nice calmness to his game. People at home and on the bus, that is 2 separate messages from Rudy, and I have to click from one to the other. I don't have problem speaking. Oh, Matt Phil's put a question in. I'm going to save that question, Phil, but it's probably nonsense. Paul, Holding, Pepe, Tavares, Tommy, ESR are already on the bench to do a job. Yes, they are. They're sitting there waiting, poised.
He wasn't on the bench today, though, was he?
No, but he will be. I think he'll be. But I'm not sure. But I don't know. Do you put him on the bench if he's fit, or do you say, look, have a few days of training, because you don't really want to bring him on, because we've seen what happens when you bring players back in big games too soon. It never works out right, does it?
What's wrong with bringing him in for like maybe the last 8 minutes or so, 10 minutes of a game, doing it that way? He doesn't have to start, but you can bring him in at the end of the game with a view to starting him in the next.
Yes, agree. Albert is nicking Rudy's job. Arteta on Partey. You can see he was player of the month last year, and he's come a long way. Now it's about consistency and to keep doing it. I think he meant player of the month last month. I think Arteta's got himself confused there. Paul says he's feeling good about top 4 chances. Yeah, but how is Pickford England's number 1? Pickford is an absolute joke of a goalkeeper. I've never rated him. Oh, there's go.
Well, same as Maguire. How long is he going to keep his place in the England team before somebody like Ben White's going to be knocking on his door?
Oh, and as far the longer
both Ramsdale and I think Ben White have got to be sort of like contenders for the next England round, and probably ESR as well.
I don't want them to play for England. I want them to stay here during international duty. And
me too.
Yeah. Mike Hertz says hello. Show me your t-shirt. Look at that, Mike. Any idea where we got that?
I got it from the Arsenal Luchador.
Do you know who that is?
Do I know who the Arsenal Luchador is? No, do you?
Yeah. No. Arnie says the women are 2-0 up. Mike says, hi, Mike. Oh, Steph has finally turned up. 44 minutes late. Better late than never. Pickford has totally lost it. He certainly has. Right, we've only got 5 questions. Let's go and ask them. First one from Rocky. Chances of us beating Liverpool, Stan?
Slim. I just think this, they're one of the best teams in Europe at the minute. I mean, if you look at the last time that we played them, though, we really got into them in that beginning of that game. Do you remember? That was the game where Nicolas kind of fired up at Klopp, which kind of backfired a little bit. It kind of lit them up a little bit, and I think we went down to 10 men, right?
Yes, and Bob Holding come on.
But we did give them a good run for their money. So, I mean, if we could come out of that game with a point, that would be fantastic. If we could come out of a point. But I'm going to go back to what we were talking about earlier that Avon Ted brought up about if we've got 3 games coming up and we put out our strongest team today against Leicester. If we do need to rotate in any way, I would use that Liverpool game to do any kind of rotation if it's required to make sure that everybody is fit for the Villa game, because there's 3 points on the table at that Villa game, more than there are at Liverpool against Liverpool. So sometimes you've got to be a little bit strategic. I'm not talking about throwing the game. I'm not talking about sending all the kids out, just being a little bit cute about it to try and get the most out of that Villa game.
I'm just looking at Liverpool's fixtures. They have got, they're meant to have been playing on the 19th. So Saturday, they're meant to be playing Man United, but the game's been postponed because Liverpool are away at Nottingham Forest on the Sunday. They've moved it to the Sunday. That's a bit of a shame because if they were, then they'd have had Liverpool Man United on the Sunday. And so they'd have been a lot more up for that with their arch enemies than they would do against us for that. But this way, they've got no game for another 2 weeks after they play us. 2 weeks? No. 4 days. Well, they've still got an important game at the weekend, I suppose.
Yeah.
Away at Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. And on the weekend, we are away to Villa. I'm actually going to be on an Aston Villa podcast. They messaged us and said, do you want to come on? Oh, God, have I said anything horrible about Aston Villa fans? I quite like Aston Villa. Good club. Nice ground. Good fans. It's Birmingham I don't like. That'll go down well. I'll save that for that. Right, next question is from Dejan. Did you support Arteta from the start or not? I'm with him 100 all the way. He's transformed this team 90%. I didn't want him as manager in the beginning. I didn't want someone new to football management, coming in managing the Arsenal. But what do you think?
He wasn't my first choice. But when Arteta came in and they decided that they were going to choose him, I was 50-50 on it. I wasn't like, oh no, not him. You don't know what you're doing, you're idiots, fucking hell. And I wasn't like, yay, excellent, my dreams have come true. I was like 50-50 on it. I've never been a person that's had to choose Arteta out, and I've never been a person that chooses Arteta in. I don't take it to that extreme. I give like increments of time. First 18 months was when I first had a look and thought, what we're going to do here. Is he the one? And then I extended it past the January transfer window and to see who we would bring in and how it would all bed in. And right now I'm sitting on that. I think that we're overachieving, and I mean that in a good way, because we've got such a small squad. That's what my only concern is. We're overachieving, but long may it continue. And, if we can get to the end of this season and be in Europe, and the minimum has to be the Europa League proper, then I'll be happy for him to continue as the manager. But if we don't do Europe, then I think there's an argument that we should be looking to make a change, even though I don't think the club will do that, because they're talking about giving him a contract now before seeing where we land at the end of the season. But me personally, no Europe, then maybe he's failed his goals.
Yeah, I don't want the Europa League. We're better than that. Right, another question we have got from formerly known as are Everton doomed?
Yeah, in a word, looks like it, doesn't it?
They are absolute pony. Looking at the Premier League table now, they've got one game in hand on one team and 3 games in hand on the other teams below them. A decent manager should be able to sort that out, but there's now a gap of 4 points between the bottom 4 and Leeds. And Leeds, Bamford came back today. And I think Calvin Phillips is going to be back soon. So that gap is going to grow. So it's going to be 3 from Everton, Watford, Burnley, Norwich. And I would say out of that lot, Burnley seem to be the one, or Watford, that might be able to do something. Norwich have lost 6 in a row. They're fucked. They're gone. So it'd be hilarious to see Everton go down with their £500 million they spent on players. Nothing against Everton. I like Everton. I think you poor fuckers share a city with the bin-dipping scumbags. But it'd just be funny.
They've spent so much money there as well, haven't they? They spent about, what is it, like you say, 500 million over the last 4 or 5 seasons. And there's just nothing to show for it.
Cheeky question here from Phil. So is this our best midfield since Danny last used hair gel and Perez was still playing? Well, I last had hair in, I think it was 1992. Went down to the barbers in Huntingdon. Joe, if you're listening. And I was with the missus and she said, don't. I said, I'm going to get all my hair cut off. She said, don't get it all cut off. So obviously I had it cut off and that was the last time I had hair. So that was probably around November 1992. So who was our midfield then? That would have been not a very good. Oh, yeah, it would have been just after we won the league. So that would have been Davis, Hillier, and all them lot. So there you go. He wasn't expecting an answer for that. I've bowled him a googly. Next question from Hannes P. Xhaka replacement. Felt Neves would have been a good, but I think we've pissed him off now. Yeah, he's not been happy, has he? He's the one with Wolves with the curly, long, dark hair and the beard. He looks very Mediterranean waiter-ish, but he's a decent player, isn't he?
Yeah, I like Neves. I would be happy if he came in.
Is he the level that we need, though, to push us forward, or is he the level that would just keep us where we are? That's what we need to do.
I think Ruben Neves would do a similar style in what Xhaka does, but I think he would do it better and has a little bit more to his game than Xhaka does, especially when it comes to a long raking pass. He's pretty good at those as well. And I think his long shots, when he takes a long shot at goal, I think he's got more chance of getting one in than Xhaka has as well. More mobile as well.
Yeah.
And I do think as well that if we are looking to bring in, about 3 players in the summer, someone of Neves's profile he's an experienced player, he's an experienced head. We could do with that. He knows the league as well. I would rather see us bring in a Ruben Neves than bring in somebody else who's like 21 from another league outside who has to settle. It has to take the time maybe that Thomas Partey has taken to settle. I'd like somebody oven ready.
Gemini Jedi says, I like Calvin Phillips to replace him. I do as well. And I think now that Bielsa has gone, the players that were loyal to him may well go, well, there's a chance here now. I'm going to be off because the American that is there isn't going to last. He isn't a great manager. Ramsdale celebrated in front of him, so he's, of course, salty. And David, Xhaka's not being replaced. Arteta loves him. Well, he does do a job. And I do quite like Xhaka. I think we need a little bit of that craziness in midfield. Fred Thurbin says, do you see ESR playing a false 9 at some point this season, resting Lacazette? Because we can't keep playing Lacazette every single game, can we? I mean, he's only 30, and a 30-year-old should be able to play every single minute of every single game. But the amount of dropping back that he has to do and running around and all that other stuff, that is a lot for any player to do, isn't it? So would you like to see ESR play the Lacazette role?
I wouldn't like to see any false 9. I don't like that, the false 9. I don't want, me personally, I like to have a striker in my team. At least one. I prefer 2 personally. I prefer we had a formation that had 2 people up front or one slightly behind one, like in the Henri Bergkamp way. But that's just my old outdated theory that I still love. But the false 9 thing for me, I've never really got into it.
Well, other teams are going back to playing 3 at the back. It seems much like fashion, tactics, everything and anything at the moment. Everyone's trying different things.
Next year, Fled Jeans will be back. Don't worry about it. Everything comes back in at some point.
Great days. Right, question from and lots of numbers. Does Everton's potential relegation have any impact on Gareth Southgate's potential decision to remove Jordan Pickford as England number 1? That's easy, isn't it? That's got to be a yes.
Yeah. I mean, if he's relegated, right, he's not playing against as good as opposition.
And would he stay in Everton, do you think? It'd be quite in demand, wouldn't he? Even though he is ginger.
They paid quite a lot of money for him, didn't they?
Maybe 18. I don't think they paid that much. He's been there for ages.
I thought they paid quite a lot of money for Pickford.
I don't know. Let's go and have a little looky poo, shall we? Click on Everton, and then click on this season, and then click on Pickford. And they paid, where is it? 25 million with possibility rising to 30 million with add-ons. I won't be getting anything like that because he hasn't won anything. That was in 2017.
See,
so this is it.
Ramsdale and Leno money, isn't it? It's about what we paid.
Yeah. That's so it's his 5th season with Everton and possibly his last because at Sunderland. Remember, he'd only had one season at Sunderland when they got relegated.
Yeah,
and that was all he'd done. Season before that, he'd only played 2 league games, and then before around that time, he's had 6 different loans, all to League One and Conference and teams like that. So I've never overly rated him. Just looks like an angry little ginger to me. Right, that one can hide. This next one from Albert. We saved the money in January window for the UCL bonus payments, or what for?
Yeah, someone if we get into the Champions League, some players will get about, I think it's like how much was their bonus? 500,000.
They still even had Champions League qualification bonuses, even though we're down on our asses in 8th place.
Yeah, some players would get up to £500,000 if we qualify for the Champions.
No wonder they let. I wonder maybe Aubameyang would have been on 2 or 3 million for that. Maybe that's another reason why we've fucked him off.
But you got to think when you hear something like when you hear and understand something like that, that's when you can understand that there's no way that the players aren't bothered about it. They want to get into the Champions League, but that's a hell of an incentive. So when you hear people saying, "Oh, are they still playing for the manager? Do they really care?" If I had 500,000 on the line, I'd be playing out my skin.
Very true. I agree with you. And Nicolas. Do you think Everton will be the team to send Everton down? I had a look for this, and our last game of the season is at home against Everton on the 22nd of May at 4 p.m. I'd like to go to that. I'd like to take my mate Dean to that, who's an Everton fan. We've got a pretty decent run in towards the end of the season. Our last 3 games: Leeds at home, Newcastle away. There again, that's not easy anymore. The 4th most informed team in the league, and then Everton at home. Do you think we could be the team to relegate them? That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
Could be. Could be the ones to put them to the sword.
Good. Right. Richard is late. Oh, here we go. Great win. Great atmosphere. Richard was at the game. Sorry I'm late. Can you tell me why the penalty took so long to award?
Because it was for Arsenal.
Tell him the real reason.
They probably I can imagine every time it's Arsenal and it goes to VAR, they get on the phone to NASA. NASA patches it through to the Hubble telescope. They take pictures, send it back. I mean, it's a bigger deal when it's Arsenal and a VAR decision. There's so much scrutiny.
Well, the actual reason was they couldn't tell because the first couple of camera angles, you couldn't tell. It's only one camera angle from behind the goal. You can just about see that his fingers tipped it. But then Rodgers has come out and gone, it wasn't. He didn't touch it. He bloody did, lying shitbag. Right, that's 57 minutes. I think that's more than enough. Oh, here we go. Quick couple of quotes from Rudy. Thomas Partey says, we have a couple of difficult games coming. All the games are difficult. But as Martin said, we have to go game by game. And that's the mentality of the team. We want to keep improving. And that's our mentality now. Brilliant. They're all together. They're all singing from the same hymn sheet, Stan. I think that's what the people say. Right, we've been going for an hour. Do you think we've covered everything?
I believe so.
Oh, lovely. If you are new and you do like what this old schmutter that we're pumping out into your eyes and ears, give it a thumbs up and maybe consider. They say consider on YouTube because it's polite. Don't consider. Just subscribe. Just do it. If you don't do it, I'm going to find you. I'm going to come around. I'm going to shit in your flower beds. And that's what I'm going to do. I might kidnap your cat because I've only got 4 cats. I want more cats. And if you have got Twitch people, well, go and find us on Twitch and follow us there. Don't give us any money. I don't want that. I just want the Twitch numbers because then you can watch on both and it makes us look great. You've all been fantastic. Oh, Mike Hertz says, hit the like. Nick is there. Says, well done, lads. Phil says, great show. See you for the roast. And then Michael has put some Twitch emotes, which looks like an octopus possibly kicking a football. Don't get that on YouTube. Loki says, thumbs up, peeps. Mike Hertz, thanks for the show, guys. Well, thank you for being there, Mike, you lovely man. Here we go. There's a name I don't recognise. Johan says, well done. Thank you, Johan. Noza says, thanks, gents. Oh, they're all being very nice. It's because we won, Stan. I remember the days they would be shouting at us and throwing things at the screen, telling us to get off. Not anymore.
Well, this is another thing of there's a feel-good factor around Arsenal at the moment. I mean,
Definitely.
when I look on Twitter, I'm seeing very little Arteta out, and this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and this person is shit, and this is all rubbish. I'm seeing less of it now, and that can only be a good thing. It feels so long since there's been unity in the fan base,
And
it helps the team.
And with those wise words from Stan, we're going to go. So, Stan, tell the boys and girls, mums and dads, aunts and uncles, grannies and granddads where they can find you on the world of Twitter.
You can find me at Stan_the_man68, and you can also find me on Thursdays at 5:40 PST time on the Arsenal Fan Circle and a couple of other Arsenal podcasts that have me on now and then. But thanks for having me on, Danny, and thanks to everyone in the chat box. 3 big points in the bag. Now on to Liverpool.
Good. And 10 p.m. tonight, that is, depending on where you are in the world, that's 2.5 hours time. It's going to be me and Magic Mike, and we will be talking absolute nonsense for an hour and a half. It'll be the football, not football. And the hashtags for this week's show, Stan, I shall go and share the hashtags for you because hashtags are very important in the world of media. Now, where is it? Where have I put it? Where are you, you sneaky little... There it is. Tonight's hashtags are unicorn food, rainbow kittens, octopus gloves. There you go. We're trying to Google whack the hashtags. So hopefully you click on those and it'll bring up nothing.
Okay.
And yes, so thank you very much to everybody. We will see you tonight, and then we will be back on Wednesday for the pre-show and the post-game show. And I think the podcast is going to be Thursday. No idea who's going to be on there, but it's an exciting time to be a Gooner, Stan.
It is.
Wow, excellent. Cheers, everybody. Goodbye.